lock
What's
everyone
that?
down.
Well, what you with?
Some people
WYSIWYG
sick.
TV.
WikiLeaks TV?
WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. TV.
Okay. Are you with? What are you trying to? Are you for this or against this?
Me personally, I'm for it. But as a channel, I'm up here to show people what's going on. What you see is what you get. Okay. So trying to inform people what's going on in Los Angeles.
All right. Well, my name is Big Joe. We're out here because you know what? This is a situation. It's getting critical right now. Obviously, we have elected officials that don't care about they don't care about the economy or anything. And obviously they want us to all go into socialism, and they want everyone to depend on them, and that's the democratic way, what's happening right now. But you know what? And people are allowing this to happen. We shouldn't be letting this happen. We have businesses, people have small businesses, they've been nurturing all their lives, passed down from generation to generation, and now because of this pandemic, all of a sudden, everything is closed down and shut down. This makes no sense. How is it that 1% of the population is dying from this, and 99% of the population is either asymptomatic? I don't even know why you're even telling us about cases that are asymptomatic. All I need to know is who's died, and all I need to know is who's in the hospital. But all of this other stuff is unnecessary. You know why they do it? To inflate these numbers, to get people scared. They're traumatizing us as a nation and bringing us in a state of fear so we can give up our rights and our freedoms and let them do whatever they want. You want a vaccine? By all means, take your vaccine. But don't tell me to take it. Don't force me to wear a mask, because look, if you're afraid of getting this disease, then guess what? You should stay home. And if you stay home and you do your Uber and you wear your social distancing, you won't have to worry about me not wearing a mask. But when you turn around and you try to impose your will on me and all the other people that have no problem with this thing, then there's a problem. And you don't understand that. I'm not vilified because I don't want to wear a mask. I'm not responsible for people dying. If somebody goes out and they catch COVID, they went outside, it was their choice to do so, and they exposed themselves and they died. Yep. That's not my problem. We're in the middle of a pandemic here. So therefore, that's the problem of the person who ventures out. But you know what? People who want to walk around, they shouldn't be vilified. But we live in a bizarre world right now. We live in an alternate universe where right is wrong and wrong is right. And so now the normal people that walk around without a mask and want to do their business are now vilified. And the sheeple who like to be under tyranny and control, they are the ones that are trying to make us look like something is wrong with us when something is wrong with them. And that's the problem. Wake up, people. This is obviously something is not right. When somebody's willing to give up your freedom and willing to be under the control of Dr. Fauci and these people, and you're willing to become a socialist republic and give up your constitutional right to be a global citizen, that's not being smart. Something is wrong with you, and something is wrong with fake news that tells us that this is okay, and all the elected officials that go along with it. Those are called treasonous people, and they need to be tried for treason. People, wake up.
I mean, they sell it as, they say, oh, it's not socialism. It's not socialism. It's just caring for people. It's helping people.
Yeah.
They under that guy is using our hearts. I don't think anybody out here is heartless. They care about people, but they also care about looking at the entire problem that's caused by COVID.
I want to ask you a question. Can you bully someone into caring about another person?
I don't think so. No.
That's insane.
Either you care or you don't.
There
That's
you
why
go.
people
And you
commit
know what?
crimes.
We live in a country where people have the right to, if I don't care about someone, I should have the right to not care. Does that make me a messed up individual? Okay, probably so, but that's it. But I shouldn't be harassed and deemed vilified, and then people try to attack me because they say I'm not caring. That makes no sense.
No, the people with these high moral standards are the ones who are being the most destructive and vile people I've seen on the streets and anywhere else in social media.
Of course, that's the way it is. And then we applaud Tom Cruise for having a total meltdown because somebody wasn't social distancing. And instead of, this is not the way if that's what you do, and you turn around and our leaders on TV is telling the children that watch, it's okay to berate someone and to curse them out and to mistreat someone because they don't wear a mask, that's the wrong message, my friend. That is the wrong message. We are already a divided country. Why are we divided? Because you know what? We have people in media who is fanning the flames of hate, and they turn around and they're trying to say it's the president, but it's not. It's them. It's the fake news media who's actually flaming the flames and all this. They're the ones that's promoting this thing. If there was a media blackout on COVID, nobody would ever be, every business would be as normal, and this would be the flu, and that would be it. But unfortunately, the media has made it their business to traumatize the world and come together as a whole to bring about
all because of Trump.
That's what they're saying. It's all Trump.
All because of Trump.
Yeah. You know what? The only thing I can see Trump is the only one that saw their plan and said, I'm not going along with it. And now he became public enemy number one. Listen, I'm from New York. I grew up in New York all my life. And I'm going to tell you, I grew up and everyone loved Trump. This man everyone loved Trump. He was a self-made millionaire. His name was on buildings. Even the rappers used to rap about him. He was never a racist. And I don't believe he's a racist now. I love Trump. And you know what? He proved himself. Once he did 4 years, he did more than any other joke president ever did in my lifetime. And you know what? And I'm saying to myself, if the joke media doesn't see that, then I'm like, you know what? This is just, we are in a bizarre world. But thank God, at least half the country, like me, sees it my way. And that's what makes me know that I'm not going crazy. But you know what? There's another half that sees it in a crazy way, and I'm terrified because if those people continue on, we are going to lose our republic, and we're going to lose our country. And we're going to be a crazy, another China or whatever, because we're going in that direction right now. They wear masks. They have a social credit system, and they want, these Democrats, they want to do exactly that, and they want to bring us into slavery. They want to take away our constitutional rights. They want to bring us, make us global citizens, and we're helping them. Well, not we, not us, but the ones that, the sheeple who don't know any better.
The ones that don't pay attention, they're not out here.
You know why? Because they're listening to Kim Kardashian and all the TV and everything.
Wrong
and all
role
that.
models.
Those
they should be listening to Kanye.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I just look at it like
this. Listening to this
guy. Yeah.
Hey man, I mean, I'm just like, look, my name is Big Joe, and I'm just common sense. All I do is express how I see it. I call it what it is. A spade is a spade.
So this box is a live virtual studio. So instead of typing into a keyboard, people can come online and chat with us live as we're on. We've got Rabbi Moshe with us and Chris and some other people.
How you doing?
Well,
G'day.
Hey, do you know who I am? They call me Big Joe. I'm the black guy that had over 150 billion views on, I think, what was it?
Signal drops. Damn it.
What was it? Big Joe Women's March. That was back 4 years ago. And it was crazy. I didn't even know that at that time what it was going to happen, but it happened. And they called me the common sense guy, you know?
Can you find you on Instagram?
Oh, you could just Google me. Well, when Facebook got rid of 1 billion accounts, 2 billion accounts, they got rid of a lot of my videos because my videos jumped algorithms, and it was really powerful. Milo I had like, I think 45 million views on Milo's Facebook. Yeah. Big Joe Women's March. You just Google Big Joe's Women's March. And that was about 4 years ago. And people loved the video, and it went super viral. It went viral all over the place. I was on Sean Hannity and Larry Elvis and everything. I was everywhere. But you know what? This is not about me. This is about what's happened. I thank God, I just happened to be, even back then, I wasn't at that Women's March. I was just passing through, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time with the right message. Yeah. We got to understand, people, this is crazy what's happening. We have to use our common sense, and it's just sad that, people don't lack it. people lack it, and that's a result of our education system being dominated by a bunch of leftists from years ago, and they trained our young people to hate this country and to go the way they're going now, and this is where we're at right now. You know?
Let me ask him a question.
Sure.
Hello? Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Moshe.
So how did you avoid being indoctrinated in your upbringing in liberal New York? What are those things that happened in your life to turn you to understand the hypocrisy of the leaders and that they have our worst interests in mind and their own best interests in mind solely?
Well, you know, that's a very good, well, you know what? I happen to be, being that you're a rabbi, I happen to be a student of the Torah and the scripture, actually, the whole scripture. And I've been a student for a long time, and I know the Creator God. And believe me, when you study His Word, He reveals all things to you, and you see everything for what it really is.
That's right.
Remember Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego?
That's true. And you know that's true because the world of media and the politicians want to throw God out of the schools and out of the country and to remove our First Amendment rights to worship God.
Yeah, it's true, because they hate God. And they hate that. You know, it's so funny. This country was founded on Christian principles, and they want to take God out. On our money, we have in God we trust. When you take a sworn oath in a court of law, you swear. Who are you swearing to? When our presidents take the sworn oath of office, what do they swear on? A Bible. Even the Pentagon over there, that monument has in Latin. It talks about praise God. You guys people don't understand that this is a Christian country all around. How are you going to even turn around? I don't even understand how a person who's an atheist can turn around and say Merry Christmas when even the name Christmas, it says Christ Mass. It's crazy.
Go into the hall of the Congress, into the foyer. They have a frieze, an engraving of Moses holding the Ten Commandments.
That's right.
The two tablets, right?
That's
so
right.
It's based on the Bible. The whole country is based on the Bible.
Of course. Even our founding fathers, they, who was it? What was it? Adams? What did he say about our Constitution? Oh, man. Now you got me going.
Break it out.
Let me see. Where's my glasses? Yeah. yeah. Give me a second, and because I don't want to mess it up. I want to say it right.
Say what he said. Say what he said, and we'll see who it was.
Okay. Let me see. Okay,
Debbie, thank you for that
Use your own
factoid.
words. Paraphrase it.
I don't like to paraphrase. I want to. All right, here. This was by John Adams. It says, our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. That's what John Adams said. One of our founding fathers said that our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. That's a profound statement. That's a very profound statement. But you know what? That just shows you, and there's so many other quotes I could go through and talk about. But you know what? For anyone to say, if you don't know our founding fathers, there's a lot of ridiculous satanic laws that they passed that our founding fathers would be rolling in their graves if they found out that people were using the Constitution as the basis for this foolishness.
That's good. They don't even teach the Constitution and the wording of the Declaration of Independence.
No, of course not. They
don't want them to know what it contains.
No, what they're teaching is they're teaching people to go against They're focusing. Of course, I'm a person of color. Of course, our country wasn't a perfect country. Of course, they got things a little wrong at the end. But in the end, this is the greatest country in the world compared to any other country. And eventually, they got things right. You understand? And what the heck? I mean, I'm not gonna. There are people. I mean, people are benefited greatly in being in this country, and people who have it, that's not because of so-called racism. There's something within you that you have to have a desire to want to go and live out the American dream. And you know what? If you have enough determination, the opportunity is here for you. But if you don't, then you can turn around and you can find everything in the history of this country, of everything that was wrong, and you can sit down and complain, and you can turn around and say, I'm owed something, and give me some restitution in return. And you know what? That's a sad thing, because that's a lack of motivation. And that's the same people that want these people to take over so that they can be under their tyranny.
Let me say something and you tell me whether you agree with this or you don't agree with this.
Okay.
Okay? So here's what I've thought about. All the slavery and the suffering of the African Americans who came here and were tortured and died and were mistreated, if they could come back and see the black communities today, I'm talking about those who have progressed, to have risen up, to get educated, and are decent, hardworking citizens, they would say all of our suffering was not in vain. We're very proud of the improvements this country has made, and we're very happy that the opportunity of this country was for our race from Africa, that we were able to come to this country. It's far better than, unfortunately, the situation is in Africa for our fellow Africans, and hopefully they'll improve one day and the abuse and torture that they're receiving will end. But they would be happy that it's better off that we suffered, knowing our descendants, our progeny down the history could live a good life if they only choose to plug into it properly.
You know what I would say? I would say if you were to take a time machine and you was to get all those people back then and bring them to this time and switch them out and bring those people here and send them back there, then I think things would be different, and the people that would be back from back then here would appreciate the freedoms that they have, and the ones that claim that don't like it here now, they would actually what you claim the country is, you would really experience it back then.
And they can bring them back to the present, and they'll have no more complaints.
That's right. That's right. Because people, unfortunately, you know, when you get ungrateful when life is easy for you, but when you're struggling and you're going through a lot, you tend to appreciate all the blessings that come.
Look, there still are ignorant people who are racist and bigoted, but this country in the last 100 years, 150 years since the Civil War, has grown and improved its status as a humanity, as decency. It has realized its wrongs and made great strides to try and correct it, and have corrected those mistakes.
There has been a lot of things. We've improved a great deal. We're not living under Jim Crow anymore. I will say, though, that there were things, you see a lot of times you get people that try to compare the black slavery to the Irish and even the children of Israel. And unfortunately, I beg to differ. Chattel slavery was the worst type of slavery ever. Even the children of Israel was able to keep their religion, and their children and their families weren't raped. I get it. It was really bad. I'm not going to dispute that. But I'm also going to tell you that we've come a long way, and there has to come a time where, because if you continue to look at the past and always look at the past and dwell on the past, you will never move forward as a people. We have gone leaps and bounds. I don't have to drink out of a black water fountain anymore, and I don't have to sit in the back of the bus. I haven't experienced that, thank God, in my lifetime. So I don't know anybody that's about my age or younger that should be talking about oppression because they have never experienced anything like that, okay? And most of the time, if somebody's having trouble with the police, guarantee you, more than half of those times, they're guilty of something anyway. And I know for a fact. I know.
Javier says, Big Joe for governor. Shall we get headed down the hill? Everybody
no
took
problem.
off.
No problem.
They just headed down the hill. We'll walk down with Big Joe.
Sure.
You know, we can continue the chat as we walk.
Do you
Yeah.
blame somebody in the black community for the present BLM and the things that have been going on to maintain the hatred and the racism and the claims of racism against them, and instead of trying harder to build up the communities, do you blame anybody for this continuing dysfunction and sad state of affairs?
This is an agenda. This Black Lives Matter and the media, this is a agenda. We have the media that's fanning the flames of hatred and division, and they're trying to put it in Trump's lap. And it's not Trump. You know, it's so interesting.
Let's talk about the last 50 years, though.
Yeah.
All the improvements haven't made a bit of difference because a significant part of the black community has still complained bitterly that they're being oppressed.
Well,
who do you blame for that?
You have a whole bunch of organizations that they thrive on that. That's their bread and butter to fester that type of bitterness so that they can keep it running. And you know, George Soros,
keep their power over the community.
Exactly. You know, the Democrats are good for stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget the author. African American from the South, I believe, who wrote the Triangle, right? The great book. I'm trying to remember it. Triangle, where he talks about the church leaders in the black community, the politicians in the black community, the institutions like NAACP that have continuously fed the need to feel oppressed instead of things like Larry Elder talks about to realize that there's free opportunity and avail yourself of the opportunity, stay away from drugs and crime, and try and just see that there's not complete and utter wall of oppression anymore that you have to be victimized by.
You know what the problem is? You have a lot of people. You have a lot of people that like to continue to blame and everything, and they just want to play a victim mentality, and they want to always lick their wounds and get some kind of money and everything. There's always going to be people there to definitely thrive off of that and do that so that they can take over and give them some little money here, subsidies there, and then they can be enslaved. And they're like that, you know what I mean? They can continue on, and they think that that's living. When, you know what? When you take this benefits they give you, there's always strings attached. They always keep you at you have to stay under the poverty line so they can have power. Yeah. You have to stay under the poverty line so they can continue.
It's a book by Kevin Randall called The Iron Triangle. Right.
The Iron Triangle. All right, buddy. All right.
So bullshit. That's the neighbors protesting in their own way, the protesters, by turning on their alarms on their cars.
That's good. That's good. I mean, a lot of people are afraid to step out and actually support because they're afraid of what the kind of backlash they're going to get. But you know what? Sometimes you have to sacrifice for freedom. You know? If I'm going to be public enemy number one for the sake of freedom, so be it. Yep. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But you know what? My whole thing is this. I'm happy that we have people who are actually really doing reporting and reporting it how it is. And you know what? Not putting their own slant in it. Because that's not reporting. That's just controlled corporate media. People need to get the news as it's happening and you know the facts. And not be controlled by false news, fake news, and fake narratives. You know?
Thank you. Why don't you take a break?
Yeah.
It's good talking.
All right.
Thank you so much, Tony.
All right, Big Joe.
Be well.
Check out my video.